Hey everyone, welcome back to the podcast. I'm Jake, and I'm so happy you're here today. If you're looking to improve your English listening skills and expand your vocabulary, you're in the right place. Listening to natural, real conversations like this will help you become more confident in English. And I promise, if you stick around until the end, you'll take your English to the next level. So, no time to waste. Let's jump right in. So, today we're talking about first dates and small talk. Let's be honest, first dates can be exciting, but they can also be a little awkward. You want to make a good impression, but at the same time, you don't want the conversation to feel forced. That's where small talk comes in. It's not just about filling the silence, it's about creating a connection and making the other person feel comfortable. But let's be real, mastering small talk takes a bit of practice. I remember one of my first dates. I was so nervous that I kept drinking water just to have something to do. By the end of the date, I think I drank like 5 glasses of water. Not my smoothest moment, but hey, we all learn from experience, right? Looking back, I realized that my nervousness made me focus too much on myself instead of the conversation. If I'd prepared a few good topics in advance, I probably wouldn't have felt the need to hide behind my water glass. That's why knowing how to navigate small talk is such a useful skill. The key to a great first date is small talk. But here's the thing. Small talk doesn't have to be boring. It's all about asking the right questions and really listening to the other person. Instead of just saying, "So, what do you do?" Try something like, "What's the best part of your job?" Or, "If you could have any job in the world, what would it be?" These types of questions encourage longer, more interesting answers. And when people talk about things they enjoy, they automatically feel more comfortable. Plus, showing genuine curiosity makes you stand out in a good way. Oh, and humor. Humor is a game changer. A funny story or a light joke can turn an average date into a great one. One time I accidentally spilled a little coffee on myself during a date. Instead of panicking, I just laughed it off and said, "Well, now you know I'm not afraid to make a mess." It actually made the conversation more relaxed and fun. That's the thing. When you show that you can handle little mishaps with confidence, it puts the other person at ease too. Everyone loves being around someone who doesn't take themselves too seriously. And here's a tip. If there's an awkward silence, don't panic. Take a deep breath and bring up something simple, like a recent movie you watched or a place you'd love to visit. People love talking about their favorite experiences. Another great trick is to pay attention to small details and use them to keep the conversation flowing. If your date mentions they love Italian food, you can ask, "What's the best Italian dish you've ever had?" Or, "Do you cook Italian food at home?" Little details can turn into great conversations. The more you listen, the easier it becomes to find the next thing to talk about. At the end of the day, first dates are all about getting to know someone. Be curious, ask good questions, and don't be afraid to share a little about yourself too. You never know. A simple conversation could turn into something amazing. And even if the date doesn't lead to something serious, at least you'll walk away having had a great conversation and a fun experience. So, next time you go on a first date, relax, be yourself, and enjoy the moment. All right, let's talk about something that almost everyone struggles with at some point. Starting small talk. Whether it's at a party, a work event, or even just waiting in line at a coffee shop, knowing how to start a conversation can make a huge difference. It can help you connect with new people, make a great first impression, and even turn a casual chat into a meaningful relationship. The good news? It's actually much easier than you think. The first step is to break the ice with something simple. A classic opener is commenting on your shared environment. If you're at a party, you could say, "This place has a great vibe, don't you think?" If you're in an elevator with someone, you can just say, "Wow, the weather's really nice today." People naturally respond to these kinds of casual observations, and they create an easy way to start talking. It's important to sound relaxed and natural when saying these things. Don't overthink it. Another great way to start small talk is by asking an open-ended question. Instead of just saying, "How are you?" which usually gets a short answer, try something like, "What's been the highlight of your day so far?" Or, "What's something exciting you got coming up?" These types of questions encourage people to share more, making the conversation flow naturally. When you ask open-ended questions, You give the other person a chance to express themselves, which makes them feel valued and heard. Plus, it helps the conversation last longer instead of stopping after just one or two sentences. And let's not forget the power of compliments. A genuine compliment can be an easy way to start a conversation. If you notice someone wearing a cool jacket or unique accessories, you can say, "Hey, I love your jacket. Where did you get it?" People enjoy talking about things they like, and this often leads to fun discussions. Compliments work best when they're specific and sincere. So instead of just saying, "You look nice," try something like, "I love how you put your outfit together. It's really stylish." This not only makes the other person feel good, but also creates an easy way to keep the conversation going. Now, what if you're talking to someone new and the conversation starts to fade? That's where follow-up questions come in. If they mention they love traveling, don't just stop there. Ask them, "What's the most amazing place you've ever visited?" Or, "Do you prefer beach vacations or city trips?" Showing genuine curiosity makes people feel valued and keeps the conversation going. If they give a short answer, you can always add something from your own experience like, "Oh, I love traveling too. I recently went to Spain and it was incredible. Have you ever been there?" This keeps the interaction balanced, so it doesn't feel like an interview. The secret to great small talk is to be present and engaged. Avoid one-word answers, and instead, share a little about yourself too. If someone says, "I love hiking," instead of just saying, "That's cool," you can add, "Oh, I love hiking too. I recently went on a great trail last weekend." This creates a connection and makes the conversation feel more natural. Being engaged also means using body language. Nodding, making eye contact, and smiling can all show that you're actively listening. The more enthusiasm you show, the more likely the conversation will feel enjoyable and easy for both people. At the end of the day, small talk is all about making people feel comfortable and finding common ground. The more you practice, the easier it becomes. So next time you're in a social situation, try out some of these tips and see how your conversations improve. And don't worry if it feels awkward at first. That's completely normal. With time and practice, starting conversations will feel as natural as anything else. Now, we're talking about something super interesting and honestly, really important when it comes to communication. How to turn small talk into deep, meaningful conversations. You know, those moments when a simple, "Hey, how's it going?" turns into a conversation that leaves you feeling connected and understood. It's a skill that not only makes social interactions more enjoyable, but also helps build stronger and more authentic relationships with the people around you. Whether it's with a friend, a coworker, or even someone you've just met, being able to move past small talk can open the door to genuine connections. And honestly, it's one of the most valuable skills you can develop in both your personal and professional life. Let me give you an example from my own life. A while back, I was at a work event. And you know how those go. Everyone's just kind of hanging around making small talk. I found myself in a conversation with someone I'd never met before. At first, it was just the usual stuff, where we worked, how long we'd been there, and so on. But instead of just leaving it at that, I decided to dig a little deeper. I asked him not just what he did, but why he chose that career path. His face lit up, and suddenly he was telling me this incredible story about how a childhood experience inspired his passion. Before I knew it, we were talking about our dreams, our challenges, and the lessons we'd learned along the way. That simple decision to ask why instead of just what turned a forgettable chat into a conversation I still remember to this day. One thing I've learned is that curiosity is your best friend when it comes to deeper conversations. When you're genuinely curious about the other person's perspective or story, it naturally encourages them to open up. For instance, instead of just asking, "How was your day?" you could say, "What was the most surprising thing that happened to you today?" This little twist transforms an everyday question into something more thought-provoking. People appreciate when you show interest beyond the surface level, and they're more likely to share something meaningful in return. Another thing that really helps is being comfortable with vulnerability. Sometimes we hold back from sharing our thoughts or feelings because we're afraid of being judged. But when you open up about your own experiences, especially the ones that didn't go so well, it invites the other person to do the same. I remember once admitting to a friend that I felt stuck in a rut with my routine. To my surprise, he admitted he'd been feeling the same way, and we ended up brainstorming ways to break out of it together. That conversation made us both feel less alone and more connected, just because I took the first step to be real about how I was feeling. Another great technique is to focus on listening rather than just waiting for your turn to speak. It sounds simple, but active listening means being fully present in the moment. This means putting away distractions, making eye contact, and responding with genuine reactions, like nodding or giving small verbal cues that show you're truly engaged. A lot of times, people can tell when you're just being polite versus when you're genuinely interested, and that makes a big difference. It's amazing how just being present and genuinely curious can take a conversation from small talk to something much more meaningful. Trust me, once you get the hang of it, you'll never go back to shallow chit-chat. You'll start craving those deeper, more fulfilling conversations and feel more connected to the people around you. And honestly, it's one of the most rewarding changes you can make in how you interact with others. All right, now I want to hear from you. What's the most awkward or funniest first date experience you've ever had? Share it in the comments. Also, don't forget to check out the description box. We've got a playlist with more podcasts waiting for you. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode. Your support means so much. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.